Well, hello everyone, it's Jessica. Welcome to my channel. If you enjoy this video, I hope that you'll subscribe to catch more of my videos. Today, we're gonna be doing something a lot of you guys recommended in my recent live chat, which was doing something where someone in my family picks my makeup. These videos have been going around literally for like years. I've never done them though. At least I don't remember doing any of them. Figured I would start with my husband picking my makeup. We've been together for over 10 years dating. Actually, this year we'll celebrate our 5th wedding anniversary. So I'm gonna have him come in my room and pick out makeup. I've got a little basket for him to use. We're just gonna see what he picks. Okay, are you ready?
No.
You got coffee though, you're on the right track. So you've got this basket, my makeup collection. Okay. I'm gonna kind of guide you through each category so at least you.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, okay. Let's start here.
So lipsticks, rouges. What? Lip liners, are those a thing?
Yeah.
What else we got?
What else?
You got a base layer? Got your primer layer?
Yeah.
All right.
It's just like painting.
It's like painting a house.
So these are my palettes.
Mm-hmm.
All I need you to do is pick one, but take your time,
Just
go through
one?
them.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is for the highlights.
The eyes.
The
no,
eyes?
these are eyeshadow palettes.
I like this one just because I like Paris, but let's see what else we got. Violet Boss. Looks like this one's been used a lot. That's a good sign. Tati Beauty. I feel like I've heard of her.
Yeah, you know Tati. You've met her.
Yes, I know. I'm sure she remembers me. If you're watching, Tati, how's it going? Good to see you again. Oh, this one. Let's do this one. There's only 2 in that one. Good luck. Okay, I'm going with my first instinct here. We're going with the Paris one.
So next up we'll do primer.
And this is for what? This is for your face?
Yeah, you would just put it on before foundation.
Okay. Cool. We got some like shimmer, some radiant ones.
What kind of primer do you think I typically use? Like a mattifying one or a radiant one?
Mattifying.
Interesting.
Is that not correct?
It's just interesting.
Ooh, is this Drunk Elephant? I hear you talk about Drunk Elephant a lot. You say it's really good.
Yes, but that's more of like a bronzing thing, so it won't work because
right,
I'm
cool,
pale Irish skin.
Vitamin enriched. Vitamin, that's good. You like vitamins are good for you, yeah?
Yeah, I do like vitamins.
Okay, let's do this one. This one looks very professional.
Oh, okay. Tatcha Silk Canvas. So next up is concealers here. Just need one from there.
MAC. That's a brand of makeup. I know that one.
Yes, you do.
Okay. What was it I said when you...
Oh, I said name all the
3 biggest...
makeup brands.
Makeup brands. And I was like MAC, Elf, and...
You said something
L'Oreal
weird.
something.
No, you said MAC, CoverGirl, and like Estee Lauder, Clarins, or something. I was like, what? Like it was
probably
such
what my mom had. This looks like lipstick. Is this lipstick?
No, it's like a stick concealer.
Oh, it's got a broad spectrum SPF. That's good. Although it's not like we're going outside.
There we are. We're going on a family walk. You promised.
That's true. We're gonna go with the MAC one, just because that.
Okay.
I know the brand.
So next up is a face product. So like those 4.
And these are all different, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Like they all look the same.
Well.
This one says foundation. I like that. I know what it is. Revlon Color Stay Outlast. I've seen commercials for that. Maybe it's Revlon. Let's do the NARS.
So, Gigi took all my brow stuff. Well, great. Pick something shimmery from here because I'm going to want something shimmery with that palette.
Oh, that's pretty shimmery.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. Did we do some color pop already? No, I don't think we did. Well, that makes a difference. Oh, Charlotte Tilbury. You like Charlotte Tilbury. Is that shimmery? That's shimmery.
Okay. So now pick an eyeliner from there.
I don't want to say this too soon, but I think I'm doing a very good job. All right, do these match the color? Are these like marker tops where the
pretty
color
much,
matches?
yeah.
Okay.
You can see what color it is.
Like, where does this go? It's on your eyes, but where?
Yeah, like liner, like around the eye. Like
okay.
I've just been doing like the top typically, but I might use it on the bottom. We'll see. Now think about the colors you picked. Your Paris palette. You might want to match it too.
Well, obviously I'm gonna match it, Jessica. Matches. Something kind of like that. Yep, calling it. That's what we're doing.
Ooh, okay.
Voluminous. That sounds good. Let's go with the voluminous.
All right, good choice. That one's not old, so that's good. A lot of those. Now that I'm looking through them, I'm like, ooh.
So what is this? This one here is what?
Blush.
Blush.
Yeah, I actually
your
just
rouge.
reorganized. Yes, my
This is for your knees?
rouge. For rouging my knees, yes. Come on, baby, why don't you paint the town?
Do any like look at these? Are they different? They have
Yeah,
like
they're all different, like tones and shades and stuff.
cool.
Some are matte,
Okay.
some are shimmery.
That one looks kind of middle of the road.
Okay. Do you think I typically wear powder highlight or like a liquidy creamy highlight? Like it's the shimmer I'd have like on my cheekbone and Yeah. But you're allowed to pick whatever you want because I like all of those.
This one just looks cool. A little stick of deodorant.
Of highlighting, you just highlight your pits. This is so cute to watch you do, Tyler.
Hourglass. I feel like I've heard you talk about Hourglass. Actually, you know what? No, we're gonna do the Marc Jacobs one.
Ooh.
Just because it looks like something from like Star Wars or something. All right.
And then a bronzer, which I have most of them like back here.
Where does this go?
This like you like make your face look a little tanner.
Bondi Bay. Is that
Isn't that where
Australia?
I think so.
Decisions, man. Let's do Bondi Bay.
Now we need a powder over there.
4.
You just to like soak up oil in the middle of my face, make sure makeup lasts longer.
Going all of this just on the names that I like and the packaging that looks
Well, let's yeah. What else could you go on, you know?
What I feel like everyone does it. Let's go with the MAC. Wait, or maybe this one. Is this one? What's this one called?
Makeup Forever.
Yeah,
He's matching it to my face. So you can pick a combo of things if you would like. You could do like a lipstick and a gloss.
What was that one that you were like dying to get at some point? Like you were like, maybe that wasn't. No, that was something different. They were like bead things. What was that?
Beads?
Remember that beads? You were like.
Oh, long ago, the meteorites. It was like where they were like the little pearls. If you had to describe what color I usually go for when I'm wearing lipstick, what would you say?
Lip color? Lip
Like
shade?
nude? Like a nude?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay, yeah, I would agree with that.
Something you might wear. Aren't MAC lipsticks supposed to be really good?
Well, they definitely have a
I'll
cult
take
following.
by your side that they're not.
Well, I only have a few I like actually like. Pretty.
Pretty close. Ooh, that's like spot on. Yeah, we're gonna do that one. I don't even need
Okay.
to look at these. Complimenting or same color?
Well, like similar color because you're not going to put red over that.
Okay.
But
Any of these?
yeah, I know.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right. So I've got my basket of makeup that he picked out here. I was kind of telling him after I stopped filming, I was like, it's so interesting because he picked out, you know, some products that I absolutely love and actually use a decent amount, and some that really have not gotten a lot of love in my collection or I just haven't used in a while. So I'm so intrigued. This is such an interesting mix of products. I think we got everything we need. So the primer he picked was the Tatcha Silk Canvas, and this is something that has not gotten a lot of love from me recently. I remember when I first tried it, it was it was really hyped up. And I remember thinking, oh, it's just like a pore filling, like balm type product, but this actually is creamier than you would guess if you've never used it. But when I've used it, I typically put it on my nose and just kind of flare it out there. And then like you saw, I put it up here, and then sometimes I'll get a little bit on my chin. That's about it. I don't feel like I need anything like that in this outer kind of C, but it's not a bad product. I do feel like foundation typically sits really nicely on top of it, but it's just one of those steps that I always feel like if I don't have the time to do primer, is it making enough of a difference to take that extra 30 seconds? I know. I do think this is slightly creamier than the e.l.f. putty primer, and so I think I might have even decluttered the e.l.f. one because I was like, well, if I'm gonna reach for something like this, I'm probably gonna reach for the Tatcha one. But I'm curious to see how my nose region looks with the foundation we're gonna use on top of that. So the foundation he picked is one that actually I probably should shake up. It's from NARS, and it is their Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I wear the shade Mont Blanc, at least that's the closest match I could find. I actually do like this. This is one of those foundations, however, that I do think, it says it's radiant. I don't think it's like a dewy foundation. And it's definitely got more coverage than I typically use, so I don't wear this every day. I typically just wear it, I don't even know. I don't remember the last time I've worn it, but I do like it. Like I've traveled with it because it does have really good coverage. And actually, if I'm remembering right, I think this was a pretty darn good match for me too. But the only thing is I typically like to wear this over a more dewy or radiant foundation. So I was kind of bummed that he didn't pick one, but let's see how this looks over that Tatcha stuff. I thought this was kind of a fun way to shop my stash since obviously a lot of us are watching our spending, especially given what's going on right now. It definitely evened out my skin tone with just a little bit of foundation. You know, it didn't take a lot at all. I feel like because I only use such a thin layer, I really could wear this every day. And it doesn't feel like heavy or anything like that, but it definitely evened things out. It looks really put together. It's actually not a terrible shade match. It's not perfect, but once we get blush and bronzer, you know, that all just kind of evens out. All right, the concealer, I was like, I haven't used that in a long time. I don't remember how I feel about this. So this is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer. It's got SPF of 35, and I have it in NW20. This is a potted concealer. I typically would use it to cover blemishes, if I'm being honest. But I also have only used this like a handful of times. So, but I definitely had a blemish on my chin. But we're going to have to use this as our under eye concealer. This is the way we're rolling today. So, just hoping it is gonna be creamy enough that it doesn't just make everything look really dry there. Wow, covered really fast. I've been getting into using my fingers to blend my concealer in a lot more lately. We'll kind of use this as a somewhat of an eye primer too. I feel like that felt creamy enough that it quickly blended in and it wasn't uncomfortable. Like it wasn't so dry that I felt like I was like pulling on my skin, but it really covered fast. So I would say if I'm comparing this to another potted concealer, I really like the Bobbi Brown one. That one is way more emollient. But this one I think stays a little bit better. Like I have to be careful not to blend the Bobbi Brown one too much because sometimes it can just go away. And that one I use more as a color corrector. I don't always wear that one on my own, on its own. But I don't think it's helping my like under eye wrinkle situation. You know what I mean? He did get me a powder though, the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin. I have R220 as my shade. I love this. So when he picked this one, I was like, yes. It's one I've used so much the past few months just to kind of set my T-zone and my nose. I feel like it's got good coverage, so it actually like hides the redness on my nose that tends to peep throughout the day. It soaks just enough oil up but not look without looking like completely blanked out. I don't typically use that one to set my under eye, so I don't think I'm gonna with this, but yeah. For brows, he picked out the Precisely My Brow Pencil, and I realized as I was filming this, I never understood that benefit. It's a play on Precisely, My Dear, from Gone with the Wind, right? I've never actually seen that movie. I know, that's crazy. Anyway, Precisely My Brow. I never understood that until literally today. So I have the shade 3.5. I don't know that I've ever successfully found a match in the Benefit brow lineup, which is funny because they have a decent shade range for brow colors. I think they expanded within the past few years. So anyway, we're gonna give it a try though. I do think the packaging is way, way cool. Like I love this, I love it. I just think it's cool, so it's no wonder he picked this. But it's just a micro brow pencil, which I do like. We're just gonna kind of brush the brows. Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit too warm for me, but perhaps if we don't use a lot, it won't really matter. Some of you guys, since I'd mentioned I've been doing my brows lighter, like with less product than normal, some of you guys asked what Tyler's reaction has been. And a few weeks ago, I did my brows lighter and I said, hey, what do you think about my brows? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what do you think? Like, do they look better this way or like the normal way? He's like, what do you mean? They look the same. I'm like, you just don't get it, you know? This is not looking terrible, but like I said, I do think it's a little bit too warm for me. If I would like went really ham on this and used a lot of the color, it wouldn't be quite right, but this is not looking bad. And you know what? This is a little bit creamier than my favorite brow pencil, the LA Girl, which you guys know I've like talked about to death. But this is kind of making it really easy to apply. So I can just get the strokes I want and then get out of there. I might use this one some more. I mean, because like I said, that was so quick and easy, and it's not too much more than my natural shape, but it just kind of cleaned things up a little bit, I think. Let's do our eyes next, and then we'll do blush, bronzer, and highlight and stuff. So he picked this palette that when I first got this, I loved it because we both love Paris. We were there this past year. It's really pretty. Because this is mostly matte, I didn't reach for it a lot, but there are a few shimmers. So we're gonna use some of these. I've really been into like pinky tones lately, so I'm looking at this one over here, but let's kind of start with this one. Essence's shadows always kind of surprise me. Every time I've ever used them, like I had their singles, and they were surprisingly good. And I say surprising because they really are inexpensive. And so with that in mind, I feel like that can be hit or miss. So it's always exciting when you do find some that are really, really good. And you certainly can find really good ones at that price point. I just love the shimmer all over look. Oh. So I'm gonna get a little bit of this kind of, I remember this was the one shade I pulled a lot from because I just thought it was such a good matte shade. Just lightly in the crease. By the way, this brush you guys all ask about, I've been using for years. They sell it on Amazon. It's like 13 bucks. I'm like thinking about buying another one as a backup. It's the like one I use constantly. It's my absolute favorite. It's the softest. Maybe I should buy a backup because then I could get rid of a lot of the scratchy ones I have. Because this is the one I end up traveling with. Like I wash my brushes and I pull this one right back out. I never reach for any other blending brushes. So $13 for something you'll use for years that has withstood so many washes, I think is absolutely worth it. So he did get me a shimmer. He picked out one of my absolute favorite products, the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize in the Marie Antoinette shade. I've used so much of this over the years. However, I don't know that it's gonna be right with this look, so I might leave it out. I honestly just forgot that this had any shimmers in it. So I think I'm gonna get a little bit of this like kind of purpley pink and just kind of tap it on the outer area. So I feel like that's kind of going on patchy, that darker color. Let's get a little bit of this like super light kind of shimmery shade. Just tap it on the center of the lid there. Not bad. I don't know that this is I mean, I think there's a reason I haven't reached for it a lot. I don't think it's terrible. I just don't use all of the shades. It's just not perfectly my cup of tea, but it's not terrible. So liner, he got me a colored one, but then I made him go back in and also get me a black because I was thinking I might use the color one on the lower lash line. And then the black on top. So let's do a little bit of the black on top. This is, he picked out two different Urban Decay. This is the 24/7 Glide On Pencil. These are really nice and creamy. I'm just gonna kind of go against the lash line here, just to darken that area before mascara. This is like one of the creamiest liners that like ever existed in my opinion. There's a reason it's like Urban Decay, they make like every shade in the world. They're so good, people buy them. I do think Milani makes a close dupe. I can't think of what it's called, but I can link it below. Milani's dupe for these that I think is nearly the same, if not exactly the same. So now let's try their other, this is one of their like metallic-y shades. It's called Wild Side. I don't know if this is still made. Actually, I've clearly used it because I need to sharpen it. I remember using this shade quite a few times because it's so pretty. Like a rose gold with a little bit of glitter to it. So we'll do this on the lower lash line, I think. I don't know this is gonna perfectly go with the like purple tones we have, but we're just gonna make it work. Mascara, he picked the L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara one I've loved, and actually just saw some other YouTuber using it in a video recently and I was like, oh my gosh, I have a decently new one of those open I need to use. I had completely forgotten about. I was just brushing through my lashes. Someone asked me why I always brush through. It's kind of a habit, but because I use a lot of gel liner, sometimes if the gel liner isn't perfectly removed from the night before, it can kind of clump your lashes together. So I just got in the habit of brushing through them back when I was like doing musicals and stuff and I was wearing like fake lashes a lot more, or even like show choir in high school. The glue is hard to get out from your lash line. So I would brush through them before putting mascara on because I felt like it would get any glue or gunk out and separate the lashes again. So honestly, it's just a habit I've never kicked. This is a mascara I do think is better after it's been open for a little while, but this used to be my absolute holy grail mascara. Like I went through tubes and tubes and tubes of this. And it was just one of those mascaras. It was a cult favorite. I love the fluttery look that I get from like Lash Paradise and even the Bambi Eye one. But this is doing a nice job. I think the key is to let it dry out a little bit. Because when you first open it, like when I first opened this particular one a while ago, I was like, is it as good as I remember? It wasn't terrible, but I do love that this is one you can like absolutely build up, and I think that's so pretty. This is what happens when daddy does your hair, huh? I see that. Wow. Bow? I just don't like that MAC concealer as my only concealer. I just feel like my under eyes look so undone. All of that aside, it is now time for some face products. So he picked one that I actually have been thinking about decluttering because I think it's not bad. Like I've recommended this. So don't twist what I'm trying to say. But the more of these kinds of products I've tried, the less I've liked this one. I just feel like it's a little bit harder to blend than like the Milk one and the Wet n Wild one. It's not a bad product though. And if you like the idea of being able to blend your cream bronzer with something that it's already got, then there you go. It's just a little bit drier of a formula, I feel like. Like I said, it's not like terrible. I still like it. But if all of these were lost and I were buying a cream bronzer again, this would not be the one I would repurchase. I would repurchase the Milk Makeup one. And he almost picked the blush version from Nude Sticks of this, and I was like, no. Because that one is even drier, I feel like. And you know what? I'm wondering now as I'm saying this out loud, maybe they weren't this dry when I first got them. I have had them over a year now. So perhaps they're just getting dried out. Does it have like a... Yeah, it says 12 months. It's definitely going on 12 months right now. For blush, he picked one of my absolute favorites. I could not believe it, the Bare Minerals Bounce and Blur blush. I have two shades. I finally got the like nude one, so that's in my everyday makeup drawer, but he picked out Coral Cloud, which I think is so pretty. You can apply it with your fingers. You can apply it with like a stipple brush, which is what I'm gonna do today. It's just kind of like it's like a cream to powder type mousse blush. And I just think it's so interesting and fun to apply. and it stays really well throughout the day. If you ever get a little too heavy-handed, you can always blend it in with your sponge or whatever. I've applied it with my fingers before, like when we've been traveling. It looks so pretty that way too. You kind of feel like a supermodel. And then another favorite I've been using a lot lately is the Marc Jacobs Glow Stick, and it's in the shade Spotlight. I actually have used this a lot. It's just so pretty. It's kind of more, it's definitely got a little shimmer, but it's more of a glossy look than anything, which is, I think, what makes it so pretty. So even if you're like in sunlight, the light hits off it beautifully, but it doesn't like emphasize a lot of stuff because it is more glossy. So lips. He picked out 3 lip products. We have got a Laura Mercier lip liner in Plumberry. So we'll start with that. I have been pleasantly surprised by these Laura Mercier lip liners. They're still a wooden pencil, but they seem to somehow be creamy, like really creamy, creamier than the MAC lip liners. And yet these stay pretty well throughout the day. I've grown to really, really like these. And Plumberry is a really nice color if you have more pigmented lips like I do. It's a really nice kind of nudie rose color that would work even just with the gloss on top. But he picked out the IT Cosmetics cream lipstick in Wistful. They have a cream line and a matte line. I love the cream line. It is so moisturizing. This color is really, really pretty, and actually, I wasn't sure it would go well with that lip liner, but that worked just fine. And then he picked out a lip gloss that I like had been completely lost in my collection. It's this Hourglass Unreal lip color in Canvas. I've used this a few times. It's a very gloopy gloss, if that makes sense. Pretty, but like for me with Invisalign, I can't use it every single day. Because because it's a colored gloss, I feel like it kind of gets everywhere. I don't mean gloopy like it's sticky, because it's not. It still is comfortable to wear. So this is the completed look. Let's go show Tyler.
Yeah, pretty much nailed it. I like it. Do you like it?
It's okay. I learned about some products I think I don't really love.
Good to know.
And then ones that I already loved, I just continue to love.
Essential
and then ones
fodder for declutter.
Right, and then a few. You know me too well. And then a few that like I was like, wow. I like that, and that was lost in my collection. So that was kind of exciting. Thank you for participating.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing felt pieces?
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, she got her bows back. So I think all in all, not bad. I think my biggest takeaways are I don't like that matte concealer. I think it's fine for like covering up blemishes, but beyond that, I do not like it for under eye. I just think it's aging me. The shadow is okay, but I don't know that I'm like dying to use that again. As this Hourglass lip gloss has sat on my lips a little bit, it's a little bit minty and a little bit tingly, not like buxom level, but it's kind of nice. So this kind of made me realize like, hey, like maybe I should use this a little bit more. So that's a big takeaway there. And I'm really excited to use that Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer a little bit more, and definitely using the NARS Natural Radiant foundation more because I'm really enjoying that. So I thought this was fun. I hope that you enjoyed it too. I need to edit this video. We are gonna go on a walk outside because it is so nice today. I hope y'all are doing okay where you are. In my last weekly vlog that I put up on my channel, I can link above and below. It was so much fun. I organized my makeup a little bit, talked about a couple products I'm loving, but then I also shared like what food we're eating, what recipes we're using, and just what our lives are like during the week. I was taking that on as like an extra video on my channel during this time, but honestly, it was just a little bit overwhelming. And I finally broke down to Tyler. I was like, dude, I can't do all of this, but I want to keep the weekly vlogs going for right now. So Tyler is going to take the reins. He's going to edit those, and they're going to be on his channel. So if you're not already following him, it is Tyler Travels TV or Tyler Braun. Of course, you already met him today if you've never met him. That's where all of our vlogs go and all of our travel stuff. And he also just does other travel things because he is a travel agent. Definitely subscribe if you want to catch those vlogs, because you're not going to see the weekly ones here on my channel. I might still sprinkle in day in the life vlogs here and there because I do enjoy doing those, but just not every single week. It's just a little bit too much to add onto my plate. So I hope you'll go subscribe, check out our vlogs over there. And I also hope you'll subscribe, of course, to my channel and say hi to me on social media. It is at It's Jessica Braun everywhere. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.